Are live. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is John from Magic Tech Review. How are you guys doing tonight? And in tonight's video, we got a real good discussion with you guys. So we're always talking about straight talk. We're always talking about Boost Mobile, MetroPCS, and Cricket. What about straight talk? What about these other carriers, Total Wireless? What about straight talk in particular, because they are a really big brand that a lot of people just don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? I don't particularly talk about them. Well, I'll give you my reasons here in just a minute. But I'd like to welcome everybody into the chat. Thank you guys for joining on in. Go ahead and leave a like on the video if you enjoy the content. Go ahead and subscribe to become part of the Magic Tech Review family. And we're going to have guests such as Lady Red. We're going to have Mill Hustles up here. And we're going to have CV Tech up here. So they should be able to chime in. And collectively, Lady Red has worked at Cricket Wireless. I've worked at Cricket, Metro, Boost myself. Mill Hustles has worked at all these places as well. CV Tech has been a consumer of all these phones and has had different companies and all this stuff. So we have a wealth of knowledge, guys. And of course, you guys in the chat as well. So Lady Red, welcome.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm Lady Red, and if you don't know me, I have Lady Red's Tech Reviews, and I do all kinds of stuff on my channel. I've got reviews, I've got tutorials, tips, tricks, and news. So if you haven't subscribed to me, head on over there and check me out.
All right. So we're going to just welcome everybody in. So, yeah, man, like me, I tend to talk about Boost, Metro, Crickets, because I've worked at those stores before. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really too familiar with Straight Talk. I mean, obviously, I know of Straight Talk, and I know Straight Talk is a Walmart brand, but Straight Talk apparently is one of the big ones because they're basically, and they're getting I don't know. Recently, J7 everybody's been hopping all over that ever. So I'd like to know everybody in the chat and also on the channel, what do you guys have? Are any of you guys on Straight Talk? Because I know there's people that swear by Straight Talk, and then there's people that just hate Straight Talk. So we want to get everybody just get some thoughts and ideas about all the carriers out here, because why just talk about three when you could talk about all of them, right? What's up, Tech Rants? What's going on?
Oh, looky there, Tech Rants. Merry Christmas! Look at you.
Hey, right, $2 donation. Thank you for all of you that don't know by now. My son is mute autistic, and he is who the channel is for. He's why I started, and all the donations and everything goes straight to him. As you can hear him in the background there, doing his little chanting and stuff. So, Lady Red, what companies have you had in the past?
I've had I had Straight Talk for a very long time. The only reason I ever switched to Cricket to begin with was because I lost my phone. Like, it just disappeared completely one day from a gas station, never to be seen again. And I'll go to Walmart, and because I had just bought, like a full month on there, like a couple of days before that. And so I was just going to go to Walmart, get a new phone, say, hey, transfer everything to this phone. But the cheapest one was way over $100. I had way under $100, so I ended up going with a cheap little LG Cricket phone, and I liked the service, and then I ended up working there. But I had Straight Talk for a long time. I've had Total Wireless. I've had Verizon. Years and years ago, back in the days of the flip phone, I had AT&T, and this was back when they first started up the Go phone. I had one of those, and I had it's a local carrier, like a regional carrier, Mobile Nation. They have terrible 3G service, and they don't even pick up everywhere. So that's all of them that I've had. Like, I just got my first smartphone 3 years ago in 2015. I went from the flip phone, it was like a little Samsung slide phone, to some kind of LG with a cracked screen that somebody gave me. But yeah, so I've had a pretty good variety.
What's up?
Mill Hustles.
Look at Tito. Tito's in the chat. Thank you, Tito, for joining on in. I messaged him on Facebook Messenger, asked him if he would like to pop in and say hi. He'd say he'd be in the chat. So thank you, bro, for being here.
Tito, come through, bro.
One of the OGs.
Sage Tech asked, "What tablet is this?" This is it's a Lenovo, a Lenovo. It's got both brands on it. It's a Tab 10. It's a 10-inch, 2 gigs of RAM. It's got a big old processor, a great battery on it. 2 gigs of RAM, though, it does have a few little issues, but I use it a lot. I use it for a lot of stuff. I'm pretty happy with it, yeah.
I'm kind of jelly, man. How much was that? How much is that? What is it? Motorola tablet.
It's around, I think, 200 and less. Somewhere between like 100. I think I've seen it at 179 maybe on Amazon. It's not identical. They've got one at Best Buy. This is just a year old. They've got one at Best Buy that's not identical to it, but it's pretty close. Like this one, you can see it has, some pretty good bezels, but like I said, I don't mind bezels at all. Because, to hold it, you don't want to always be on the screen. So that gives like something to hold on to if you're trying to hold something big, especially. And that one has smaller bezels. It's very light. The back of it is very soft. You can see that's not real shiny. It makes it easier to grip. I love it. I do a lot with this. I go to meetings and I need to take notes, and my handwriting's terrible, so I use my tablet. And edit.
I was gonna say, before we go any further, Tito Escobar, Andrew, he's dealing with Bell's palsy right now. So you guys don't know, it's like half your face is basically paralyzed for a time. So everybody give your thoughts and prayers and healing powers over to Tito to get a speed recovery. And he says that it's he's actually healing up pretty well already. So that's good to hear, bro. Glad to see that's happening for you. So yeah.
So what are we talking about, guys?
So Mill Hustles, what's going on, bro?
Nothing, man. Just maintaining,
Well, duh. I mean, about the title, bro. This is your title. You wanted to talk about it.
Oh man, you exposed me, bro.
I mean, we never talk about straight talk, bro. It's your time, bro. It's your time to shine.
Like I figured because I know that they don't have the fancy marketing campaign that the other three guys got. They don't need it, but it's like Straight Talk TracFone Inc. as a total has probably the same amount of subscribers that the top three companies have combined, and they're never brought up.
You've got a point there, because like here in my area and small towns everywhere, there's not a lot of competition. Like Cricket is the only branded MVNO in town. Other than we got, Straight Talk and all of their brands is Total Wireless, Straight Talk, TracFone. And what a lot of people don't know is SafeLink, the government program. I mean, you can call it and talk down to Obama phones all you want to, but there's a lot of, especially older people that are on fixed income, very low fixed incomes, that just need a way to be able to call their doctors, call their families. They're not trying to do a lot of stuff with their phone. They need, a way to call people and have their phone with them when they're going places, because, health emergencies with older people especially do happen. And, they all have SafeLink phones. That is also run by TracFone Corporation.
Yep. And not only that, Family Mobile, which is run by TracFone, also Walmart Family Mobile offers assistance as well, like pretty deep discounts if you're lower income. They're basically crushing. What are the other guys' names? Assurance or SafeLink?
Yeah.
The one ran by Virgin Mobile.
That's Assurance, yeah. And theirs is a joke. It's a total joke.
You can't find it anywhere. People always go into the store asking, where do I get this? And I'm like, I have no idea.
No, they have a commercial that I used to see when I lived in Laurel, Alabama. And I don't see that up here ever. But down there, Virgin worked. Virgin does not work in my area at all. When I first moved back here to Tennessee a little over a year ago, I didn't have anything. I mean, I came back up here with a U-Haul full of clothes and like stuff, but I didn't really have anything. I was staying with a friend. It was very sad. I wasn't working. and I went and got one of those. There was like two ladies that were in a parking lot one morning, and they had a sign out that said free phones. And so I went up there and I did all the stuff, and I got one of the phones, but it never worked. It was supposed to be running off the Sprint towers, and it never worked. It didn't even take a SIM card. It was some kind of little bitty ZTE phone, and it wouldn't even take a SIM card. So I couldn't even use that to, I tried to activate it, through another network, and I opened it up, and it didn't even have a spot for it didn't even have a SIM slot. So it was just pretty much worthless. It was just sitting there. I used it for a camera.
I had a company, I can't remember who they were, reach out to me offering me to do that, and I considered it, and I might even consider doing it down the road again.
I did it for a while, bro. It looked pretty good, man.
Yeah, it's like $50 to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
Or something
Slim
like
Shady, I found on Amazon a keyboard attachment. It is a whole case with the keyboard, and it's a Bluetooth keyboard. It's not like the RCAs have it where you can attach it in the case and it's got like a little slot back here. This doesn't have that, but you can put a Bluetooth keyboard with it. And I did find a case with the keyboard and case on Amazon. I can get you a link if you want it. I've got a link for it.
Hey, what's going on, bro? Yo.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Oh, what's up, CV?
What's up?
AV Tech, how you doing? Is it daylight there? Where are you? Okay, it's very bright.
Yeah, I'm in a bright park. I'm in a bright parking lot.
Ah.
His anger is.
The anger is real right now, y'all. So
Let's hear it.
You might hear me growl and grunt. So
do it. Let's hear it. Come
what
on.
you mad about, bro?
Let it out.
Freaking Metro piece. Metro.
Say it.
Put them on blast, y'all. They suck. That's just the way it is.
Let it out. What happened?
Well, I'll get into that later.
All right. So talk.
No, but another thing, back to the straight talk thing, they've improved their customer service and activation process 100%. Because when I was just a customer, before I started working for TracFone, it was a nightmare to get a port in, a port out, or even get set up, period.
I want to say, if y'all are wondering what my deal with Metro, I'll make a separate video. It won't be live streamed, nothing like that. But I'm going to be putting Metro on blast pretty much. So just stay tuned for that video coming out soon.
Absolutely.
Tito asked me to elaborate. Either me or CV can elaborate. CV, do you remember how bad the customer service used to be? Especially with Total Wireless.
Yeah, I'm on a third line now, so I never have to call Total Wireless because my phone just works and I ain't got to deal with them anymore. But when I had them on my own, oh my goodness, Total Wireless Straight Talk was just horrific. I would dare say the worst customer service of all time. But I haven't called them in a long time, so I'm not sure if they improved or not, or if they're any better now.
Yeah, they have. They were forced to. There was too many complaints from the FCC, so they made them shape up. But it was really bad service. I mean, it's like you would call trying to be nice, and they were rude to you.
Yeah, and also to me, the two worst ever was the whole TracFone brand and Cricket. Cricket was horrible. Now, I have called Cricket since. They have got better, but I would say early this year, I've called them horrible. But they may got better. I don't know. We can ask y'all about that.
I mean, they've been okay, but Cricket was really bad before AT&T bought them. They were just terrible. But they weren't mean. They weren't mean like the straight talk TracFone people were. They were just very incompetent.
Oh yeah, I mean Cricket. I mean this is Cricket. After AT&T bought, this is being like this year. early this year. I called and talked to 3 different people, and none of them had no idea what I was talking about anything. None of them.
I have to agree with you because, like, I've got 2 numbers that I call. I call the retail help desk, and that's for porting issues and like issues with my system, stuff like that. And then sometimes I get transferred over to customer service, which is like, I just don't even ever want to do that because number one, they really don't speak English. Number 2, they're stupid. That's the bottom line.
That's the way to put it. I mean, here's the thing. Like Boost Mobile, they have a department for online orders. They have an department for technical. So they have a department for everything. Well, whenever I tried to do a port in, maybe it was last year, I tried to do a port in online, and it failed like 3 times. So I called into Cricket. And they had no record of anything. They had no department for nothing. They had no idea what I was talking about. I gave them this confirmation number. Asked them. They acted like they did not know. Well, they acted like that they didn't know they're bumping a hole in the ground.
Right. And there is, I'm about to figure out the reason for that because we've run into that too. Like we tell everybody that comes in the store and says anything at all about online because there's always a problem. It never fails. There's always a problem. I had a call the other day, yesterday. Somebody bought the phone online, and online they were already Cricket customers. They were just upgrading, and they told them to come in the store, and we would give them a SIM card. And that would activate and then they call back online and activate it online. I said, no. I said, if you get a SIM card from us in the store, we have to activate it in the store. We have to do all that in the store. And being that they were doing this that's when they told me it was an upgrade. And I'm like, no, we can't just give you a SIM card. We can do it maybe as a SIM swap. I said online purchases. I said there are always problems with them. And they're like, well, where else can I get a SIM card? Because I was getting ready to close. This was like 10 minutes till. And I told them just to go to Walmart and get a SIM card and call 611 and let them do it. I said, because I asked them where their old SIM card was. I guess they lost their phone or something, and because they didn't have one. But I've had people spend hours in our store with 4 lines. They had tried to do an online port, and it just kind of got lost in translation or whatever. And it took us half the day to get this lady straightened out. I mean, every time, it never fails. Every single time somebody tries to do something with online, they're in the store for hours with a problem of one sort or another.
Yeah, actually, go ahead.
Okay, let me go. So I got one issue. Whenever you call to get your number, to get a port or whatever like that, with Straight Talk, bro, it's
easy.
The things they are ridiculous, and they all sound the same. Yeah,
you're cutting in and out, bro.
You're cutting out bad, man. I cut about a quarter of it. Anyway, in my opinion, porting out from Total Wireless Straight Talk is simple, very, very easy.
The other day, let me cut you there a second, CV. I told a simple mobile customer that was bringing their own device because they said, hey, well, I'm going to need my account number and PIN number in case I want to switch somewhere else. So I said, okay. I grabbed their SIM card, and the account number when you bring your own device is every number on the SIM card except the 8901, which is usually how they start, and their 4-digit PIN. I said, that's it.
Yeah. And Tito, the Cricket was CDMA. I had them before Cricket bought them out, and they had service nowhere, literally. But anyway, but yeah, they whenever I ported it over the Blade X, I only ran into one issue, and the only issue was because the card I was using did not match up with something. But when I got that straightened out, the port went straight through. It done fine, and I had no issues. I had no issues with it whatsoever. But trying to get Cricket to do anything is like pulling teeth. I don't have. I mean, whenever I call Boost Mobile for a problem, usually they have it might take a while, but usually I get my problem solved or the answers or the questions answered. In Metro, I never called them anyway, so it didn't really matter. Screw Metro. And so, yeah, I don't, that's the only problem that I ran into. Hang on, I'm getting a phone call. I'll be right back.
All right.
So let me respond to a couple of comments here real quick. I'm getting a lot of, and I get it, a lot of people don't understand when they call the call centers because they don't speak English. These are prepaid brands. And these companies, these giant corporations outsource prepaid customer service to the Philippines, to Mexico, to wherever. That's why you barely understand it. And also, they don't get paid what we get paid. Now, if you want American customer service, usually you get that with postpaid. So y'all are going to have to deal with it. You're going to get poor customer service when you pay less and you got to call over the phone. That's how it is. If you want better customer service, most likely you're going to pay more. I can almost guarantee.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, whenever I call retail support or the porting department for Cricket, I'm talking to somebody like I'm talking to you. They're in America, they're in the U.S. And I don't know, Straight Talk, when I call them, I'm either talking to somebody, and I know because I can hear it in their accent, Mexico, Indonesia, the Philippines. I've talked to a couple Jamaicans, and it's just kind of luck of their draw. Now, porting from Straight Talk, I call the porting department. I don't call customer service. Sometimes they give me a hard time. I get a little hateful, and I use what Jesse calls the mom voice. And if they tell me, when I ask, because you always have to verify that account number, because some people, like when you change phones, yes, it's the IMEI, but if you've changed phones, if you're using a different phone than the one you started out with, it's not going to be the same. And I'll tell them, I just want to verify this account number, please. And they'll give me some spiel about it being the IMEI, and they don't have time to help me. And this is before I've told them I'm with another carrier. That's when I'm like, well, you do have time. I can make this call and I can get that account number from you. And you are going to give it to me because this customer does not have the original phone that they opened service with. Therefore, it's not going to be the IMEI. Now, what is the account number, please?
All right,
Give the account number.
So this is how it's changed. Whenever you upgrade, because with Straight Talk, you necessarily can't switch the SIM card from one phone to another. You can, but you're creating a mess for yourself because first of all, the IMEI doesn't register on your account, the new one. And second off, all your functions on your phone are not going to work how they're supposed to. That's why we call Straight Talk to do it. But whenever you call Straight Talk these days and you tell them, hey, let's upgrade, we're switching phones because this old phone of mine broke or whatever it is. They're like, okay, and now this new IMEI will be added to your account.
Okay, I got something to add to Mill Hustles, what you were saying about that. I have now I know it's not good. I had an emergency phone call. I had to take it, so that's why I had to leave so fast. I know it's not good to swap SIMs from total to total. But I literally had, when I started up my Total Wireless SIM or my Total Wireless account, I had the IMEI SIM card and IMEI attached to the LG Fiesta 2, right? I have used that SIM card in every phone I have. Everything works. I have no issues. Pictures work, text work, calls work, data works. I've used it in iPhones. I've used it in other Androids. I probably put this SIM card into 10 other phones and used them continually. And so far, I've not had a lick of issue.
I don't know how they're doing. I know there's people that come in all the time, and we were doing the IMEI thing, and they weren't matching up, and I don't know why. But that's when we started just verify them every time. And I did learn this just a few days ago. Because we have to ask them to release a number, and half the time the system automatically releases it, and the other half of the time they have to do it manually. And they told me the other day, I got a really good rep that told me it just depended on the device.
Now, for example, like I said, my IMEI and my SIM card is attached to an LG Fiesta 2. Right now, my Total Wireless SIM card is in this phone right here, my Essential phone. Working great. I got LTE Plus, full signal. Everything works perfectly. I got a phone call from it just a minute ago on this number, but now I have heard people at Walmart say that they knew people personally who put their different SIM cards into other phones that was not meant for the one that they signed up for, and their service was terminated.
Wow.
Somehow the system caught up to it, and they lost their service. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm at the point now where if I lose my number, then I don't care. So if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's safer,
It
to call them.
It is.
And also, me working for TracFone, I have a number assigned to me that when I call technical support, they answer immediately.
Oh.
And I'm not allowed to give that number out, so like sometimes I'll have friends that work for Cricket call me and be like, hey, we need to do this and that. And I'll I'll do a 3-way call. And then just kind of leave it. I always carry multiple phones, so I can have one phone unoccupied, and they're usually pretty quick about it.
Bro, Straight Talk has so many departments, though. They'll be like, oh, well, you're going to port. Oh, well, let me transfer you this. And then there's
like whenever we're porting whenever we're porting someone in to Straight Talk, as soon as they answer, I'm like, hey, give them the phone number, say I need the porting department. Otherwise, you're going to sit there for a few minutes. Like, I'll tell you a sale that happened the other day. Boost Mobile, while Straight Talk had the iPhone 6 for $150, Boost Mobile had it for $199. And this girl went in there and she had just paid her bill. And I told her, look, why don't you just come over to Straight Talk? You'll save, you'll pay $150. You'll get the unlimited line for $155. So you're getting a new phone, better service if in your area.
Mm-hmm.
Because she had issues with Boost. It's different for everyone, people. But she basically paid for a first month of service and the same phone for like $210, and she got better coverage for her area. So
yeah.
Cool
I mean, honestly, I think that overall, Straight Talk Total Wireless is a very, very good company. I believe that they do very well. I mean, as long as you don't got a customer service, usually you're pretty straight. I mean, like I said, I've had my third line. I'm on a family plan, like a shared family plan type deal, and somebody added me onto their plan, but there's a third line. And honestly, I have not had a lick of issue with coverage, with anything. It has just been it's been great, and I have no problem with them whatsoever. Yeah. So I believe that I believe that they've had such a bad rap in the past of how crappy they used to really be, that nobody wants to give them a chance now, and they're still branded as a crappy carrier when they're really not. They're really solid.
I had it where a customer came in. They were with Verizon. You know what I'm saying? They switched to Consumer Cellular, right? They're paying $15 a month. They only get 250 minutes, right? And they're like, well, in Verizon, I got this service, I got that service. So since you're a representative of Consumer Cellular, you're going to do this for me. You're going to do that for me. You're going to make my transfer my pictures, transfer my contacts. You're going to make a Facebook profile for me. You're going to create an email for me. I'm like, I'm going to do what? I'm not Consumer Cellular. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm like a third-party representative.
I've had people do that. And I have literally answered. Literally answered, sir, you have the wrong person, because I am not going to do something just because you're telling me. You are not my employer.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, it's $10 for this, $10 for that, $10 for this. If you really want it done, I'll do it, but it's $10 to set up this, $10 to set up that. Believe me, they wouldn't do it. If they wanted it done, I'd do it for them. It cost them.
I mean, they're paying $15 a month for the service on a prepaid network, and they expect like you know what I'm saying, the whole world. I'm like, yeah, coming from Verizon, I mean, I'm sure Verizon will do flips for you and backwards and forwards if you're paying them, over $100 a month. But with consumer cellular,
Consumer cellular is a nightmare. We won't port from them anymore.
Really?
There was no, not at all, because we've tried two, both have failed. What they are doing, it takes 2 days to complete a port. They won't push it through any faster. They wait until the last day. And during this whole time, the customer is having to keep both phones because they're making calls on one, receiving calls on the other. And at the last day, when they release the port, they're canceling the number. So once they release that port, the phone doesn't work at all because they don't have a number on it. And we call them back. We ended up having to come out of pocket in the store, out of just, store money to pay this lady to get, and I don't know how they finally made it work. It was one of Jesse's activations, but we had to pay for the $30 plan out of store money, just pay for it out of pocket, and then turn around, and it took about an hour on the phone with our porting department and with theirs to get this lady's phone number, because she'd had the same phone number for like 20 years, and all of her doctors, all of her family who lived all over the country had this number, and it was just a huge mess. And we tried it another time. She did one more from Consumer Cellular after, the boss said no more ports from them. She did one more from them like a month or two later, and it was a problem again, the same thing all over again. They ended up canceling it. The customer finally came back in and said, don't worry about it. Just cancel the whole thing and get me a new number.
Oh, my God. Yo. When people buy a flip phone for $15 and they expect it to last like 6 years.
Yeah.
Some of them did. They used to. They used to last a long time. Not anymore. No, but I tell you this though.
No, come on.
Whenever a customer, especially in prepaid, asks for a new phone number, I treat them extra nice. Because they've made my job 10 times easier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why a lot of times I'll be like, do you want to, because Verizon, if I call, I'm going to be on hold 45 minutes. If you call from your Verizon phone, they're going to pick right up. But a lot of times somebody has lost their phone is, destroyed or whatever, and they can't call from it. And I'm like, we're going to be on hold. And the Verizon store, by the way, is 3 minutes away. And I'll either tell them to go down there and get it. And now they're not giving out prepaid information there anymore. If you've got a prepaid account, you cannot walk into the Verizon store and get your account number from them. They won't give it out. And so a lot of times I will straight up talk them into getting a new number just to cut time down, because I've got a store full of people. I can't sit on hold. I've done that before, sat on hold for 42 minutes trying to get an account number and missed out on like 6 activations.
No, I see. Like when that would happen to me, what I would start doing is I would call their department, of the previous carrier before I even start doing anything on our queue, and then I just get to the next person. And usually I'll make the customer do the call, because I tell them I can't do the call, sir. I can get you connected, but it's your personal information. And then people think that you can just wave a magic wand and your number comes over. Now, some carriers like Cricket and Metro, one good thing about them is most of the time when you pay your bill, your account number is in a text message. And a lot of people don't delete that. So I just say, let me check your phone. Oh, here's your account number. The problem with Metro is when they forget their 8-digit PIN, because that is a pain to reset. Especially when they're porting over, but they don't have their phone. They lost their phone. Or they don't remember their security question. It's crazy.
Right. And PIN numbers, people come in and, 9 times out of 10, people for straight talk say, I don't have a PIN number. Yes, you do. And they'll come in to pay their bill. And every single month I have the same conversation with the same people. I'll push English on the PIN pad for them because they don't know how. And I'll say the same thing. Okay, please put in your 4-digit PIN number so I can look at your account. And every month The same thing. I don't have a PIN number. I've never had a PIN number. I don't know what you're talking about. A PIN number. I ain't got no PIN number. Yes, you do.
Oh,
Yes, you do.
God.
Oh yeah, like I have that. I run into that every day, and whenever you upgrade your phone at Straight Talk, you need to have your PIN number. They're like, I don't have a PIN number. I mean, there's people that walk in to refill their service, and they're like, I don't know who my carrier is.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. They really don't. I've had people tell me before. I'll ask them, "Well, who's your carrier?" I don't know. I get my minutes at Walmart. Well, what does your card look like?
Oh, Tito
I've
says,
had.
look, Tito says on Boost, always get the interaction ID of the rep when getting your account number, as sometimes they will give the wrong account number so they don't hit with the port out.
Yep.
I know they've done that before,
Tito.
bro. I know they've done that.
Yes, this is what I do, especially with Boost Mobile. Whenever I have to get an account number from them, they tell me the number, and then I tell them to repeat it. And then I say, okay, I'm going to read it back to you, and I will purposely say the wrong number at the end. And then that'll make them repeat it a third time. If they repeat it a third time exactly the same, then the number's right.
Yeah. Talking about, I was, let's see. Talking about Boost Mobile getting their account numbers wrong. Whenever I ported from Boost to Cricket to get the Blade X, they gave me an account number. So I called. I got online. That's two problems I had, which was not Cricket's fault. And I gave me a account number, and it said, "Okay, successful, it's done." Then I got an email from Cricket saying we need to update information, and it said account number was wrong. So I re-entered it, thought I maybe put in the wrong number, and I re-entered it, and it says there's an issue here. There's an issue here. So I called Boost Mobile back right quick, and I told him, I said I called in, got my account number. I said I told myself, I said I'm porting my number out from Boost Mobile, and I said they gave me an account number. I said they're not taking it, saying it's wrong, and they gave me an account number completely different than the one that they gave me to begin with, and that's the only issue I've ever had with Boost Mobile. Give me the wrong account number, but they gave me the right account. But they gave me the right account number. I put it in. It said successful, and you're good to go.
I've had a similar experience. A lady came in to port in, and she had like 4 or 5 lines through Sprint, and she had just moved here. Sprint doesn't work here, and I mean, there's like a 4-foot square area that Sprint will work in this whole county, and that's it. So she comes in, she gets her lines, and I start doing the port, and I can't get it to go through. It keeps saying wrong, and she pulled up the app on her phone and showed me her account number, and that's what I put in. And all of the lines were on the same account, so I put that in every time, and it kept kicking it back out saying it was wrong account number. I mean, this took it took 2 days to do this lady's lines because it was like already an hour past closing, and she's like, I'll just come back tomorrow. But she called them, and they gave her an account number that was totally different than the one that she pulled up, because you can do the PDF version and actually see your paper bill in a PDF, and it's got your account number on it. Well, it was totally different from that number. She came back I canceled everything. She came back the next day. We put the number in that was on her app, then turned around and called just to double check it. And they were still like, because it was a number of how many zeros were in it. And they were like, no, it's this. And I'm like, oh, look, I'm looking at her app, and I don't want to send this through again and have another failed port. Can you please just verify it? Because I kept trying to send the one in that they were telling me, and it was the difference of 3 and 4 zeros. And the one on her app was correct. And it was the one they were giving me. They were telling me it was 3 zeros instead of 4. And that was Sprint that was doing that. Yeah.
I had a Sprint port when I still worked at Cricket. And we were on the phone for about an hour and a half. Like, the guy just would not let the number go. And I got on the phone with him. This happens kind of often, unfortunately, where I tell the person on the other line from the competitor, look, we don't have all day. Just give the guy his account number. He doesn't want to stay with y'all. Let's go.
Yeah.
When it comes to Boost Mobile, I pretty much get my account number within 2 minutes. I don't have any issue with that. I mean, I've heard everybody. Yeah, I know people. I know
several times a day for different people. That's the thing. It's like,
yeah. I had a lady that just moved here. Boost will not work here, period. And she called to get hers, and she had to use the store phone, to call them. And they kept trying to give her a free month of service. She's like, that sounds great, but my phone doesn't work here. I moved here a week ago and I haven't had a phone yet. Just give me my account number. It took her like 30 minutes just to get the account number from Boost because they were like, oh, we'll give you free service. Why do you want to leave us? She said, because you don't work here.
Yeah. I had one issue several years back trying to port out from Boost Mobile, and they ran me to the mill. They put me here, put me there, and kept on doing that. And I'm like, I said, give me my freaking account number now. I said, or I'll talk to a manager. And they like, okay, sir, we'll give you your account number. And I got and that's the only issue I had with them. I mean, because I was like really calm and cool, I'm like, nah, my service ain't working that great. I just want to port out, I need my account number and all that. And they kept on and on. And finally, they hit my flip side. And when they did my flip side, I was like, okay, I'm done messing with y'all. Give me my account number or give me a manager. I said, because I want to get it today, regardless of if you want to or not. So it's going to get done one way or the other. And the woman said, okay, you ready? And I was like, yeah, I've been ready for 30 minutes. Give me my account number. And then there's no problem. But really ever since then, I poured it out from Boost because I poured out numbers occasionally, time to time. Anyway, we all do it, at times. And and really all I do now is say, well, my service is not very good here. And then they're like, well, give me your address and we'll look up I'm like, okay, fine, here's my address. It's like, yeah, we see you're in a no coverage area. So we'll give you your account number now. Cause actually my address, it shows that there is no coverage. It shows white. There's no coverage. I get coverage. It's very little, but I can call out. And now it's just like, well, okay, yeah, we see we have no coverage in your area. Here's your account number. And I'm like, okay, cool, thank you. And I'm off the phone within 3 or 4 minutes. So
real quick, a lot of y'all may or may not know, like me, I'm always researching these companies, on my off time, King of Tech News hashtag, but that's not the point here. Metro created something called 721 where you can live chat with them, and they don't answer anymore because people only ask for their account numbers when they chat with them. Have y'all heard of 721?
No, I haven't.
Mm-mm.
Yep, it's a live chat feature. It's probably gone. I actually found out about it on Twitter.
What is that?
It's
Metro?
The what?
It's Metro or Boost? Which company?
Boost.
Oh, okay.
Since we're pretty much ranting on Boost right now.
So what about TracFone?
Someone said that Boost should be called Bolst, like Bull, BULLST. I'm like, oh Lord.
Yeah, I'm not sitting in my normal parking space tonight. I'm sitting I'm actually in a different county, different city, and this parking lot don't look too safe. But hey, it's well lit, so we're good. But anyway, yeah.
TracFone, bro. Have you ever had TracFone or dealt with TracFone or?
Yes, about a decade ago.
I personally never had TracFone. My ex-fiance had TracFone. I had Net 10.
TracFone is basically the traditional cell phone plan. A couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Text. It's like
TracFone started the whole thing. They started everybody still walks in my store. I need to get my minutes.
Yeah, on the subject of Boost Mobile, so like I said, the two best ways to get your account number really easily that I have had experience with is just say you're getting no coverage, or you want it just for your records. You want it for your personal records just to have it, and usually they'll give it to you. That's normally what I do. I'm like, I'm like, they're like, why do you want your account number? I'm like, no reason. I'm like, I just want to have all my account numbers, my PIN, my number all wrote down for personal records. And most of the time, then they'll give it right to you.
You know what I think? When and if this merger with T-Mobile goes through, I think that they're going to make Boost give the account numbers a lot easier. Same way that Metro does. Because every time you pay your Metro bill, it says, thank you for your payment on account number, whatever.
Oh yeah, exactly, Tito. I mean, the past couple of times I've asked my account number. I mean, they're like really cool with it. I'm like, I want my account number. And they're like, well, can we ask why? And I'm like, well, I'll either say, that my coverage is very bad, or I will say I want it just for personal records, just for my records. They're like, okay, give me 1 second, and then they'll give me the account number, and then I'm off the phone.
I'm surprised they haven't got caught out for that, man, or like the FCC hasn't got involved from getting the account number. Like,
it's because people don't know how to file complaints to the FCC, and it's not hard. I'm actually about to file one against Spectrum. It's a big deal, a really big deal. Yeah, I think that when that happens, they're going to make the access to account numbers a lot easier.
Something I've noticed since the Metro rebranding, and I don't know where exactly this happened. Huh?
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. Tito wants to join, John.
All right.
Nah, Tech Right. Actually, if they get enough complaints, the FCC will get involved.
Oh yeah, they will. You don't mess with the FCC. But no, what I'm saying, something I've noticed since the rebranding, like used to, Metro gave you 30 days. Even if your phone was cut off, you still had that number for 30 days and you could port it, because I've done it plenty of times. But now I tried to do one the other day with T-Mobile and they wouldn't let me do it. And he got just downright hateful. So, I had to get downright hateful right back. And I said, so y'all own Metro. Metro will let you port this number out for 30 days. And y'all own Metro and you won't port this number out. And it's only been 24 hours. And he said, that's right. We're not letting that number go. All right. Then.
Every carrier I've tried to port out with, everybody says your account must be active. Must be active.
Verizon gives you 24 to 48 hours. I'm not real sure about AT&T, but Metro would give you 30 days because, Metro doesn't really work here. So people moving in, I do ports for them all the time. And they're usually so nice. Like, I would rather deal with Metro than any other carrier. Honestly, I would rather deal with them. And it's never been a problem, even to, do one that's been cut off. But for some reason, I don't know, they won't do it now.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Hey,
what's going on, man?
What's up, bro?
Nothing much. Enjoying the live show.
So what were you going to elaborate on, brother?
Oh, okay. So ranking on Boost Mobile. All right.
When it comes to this chat, well, you know us, bro. And you too, bro. Nobody's safe.
Well, and honestly, I'm a really huge fan of Boost Mobile. I've been with Boost Mobile since the Chirp days, off and on. I've always been partial to Sprint. Boost Mobile. I had Virgin Mobile back in 2002. Had their very first phone that they ever released. So I've always been partial to Sprint, Boost Mobile. It's just that their coverage and and a lot of times their upload speeds are horrible.
Yeah, but like just what you guys touch base on, like the complaints, the FCC, because like how, like, again, Sprint's policy on their workers importing out. So why does, like most people always wonder, why does it take 30 minutes to get your account number? Why did they go through all this humbug just to get your account number? And I've mentioned this in my own videos where I let people know about it when I was working retention for Sprint. And it's the same thing for Boost Mobile. One, the way that Sprint wants to hear on the calls, because they pull calls like every week. I remember I used to sit down and listen to calls with other TLs and which are team leads, and then a Sprint liaison who would sit in there. We would go over an agent's call. They actually they look for the least, if the agent offers at least 3 things before giving out that account number. That's one thing. So that's why they're always trying to pitch, even though you clearly say that just give me my account number, I'm leaving no matter what. Like, they got to, because their job's on the line, which is kind of sad that Sprint does it that way. Like, Sprint makes their agents feel like they're hanging on the thread.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go on record and say that. Like, I've literally walked people out of the center who just didn't really try Like, because they're so afraid. As soon as a customer yells at them, "Give me my effing account number," boom, that's it. They give the account number, and then Sprint's like, "I want that guy gone because he didn't try."
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, good.
Oh, I was just saying, I mean, I understand. I know. I think a long time ago we discussed a lot about this, about the account number and stuff like that. And honestly, I have pretty good patience. I mean, as far as I mean, they'll be like, well, let me check your address. Let me try this. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But after going on and on and on, after exhausting all options, and they still don't want to give it to you, that's when my patience goes to, okay, I'm done dealing with these people now. But pretty much, like I say, I mean, the longest I've ever spent on the phone with a boost rep was like 10 minutes to get my account number, and that's even with them trying to look up my address, giving me this, give me that, and I'm like, hey, if you got a signal booster that will give me good signal and LTE, then I'll stay with y'all. And they're like, well, sorry, we can't. I'm like, you're trying your. I'm like, I know you have a booster because they've actually mentioned a signal booster, and yeah, and I'm like, you want me to stay. You're trying your best to get me to stay, and I know you have a magic box or whatever to get it to get better service and all that kind of stuff, but yet you don't want to offer me that. You won't, you want to tell me everything else, but you don't want to, and they're like, well, we can't do that. I'm like, well, if you can't do that, then give me my account number. I'm gone.
Yeah, that's where, I mean, anyone could look at it. Like when you look at like the 4 major carriers and where they stack up, you can really tell just by like the tactics that they use. So like when people have emailed me, like, how do I get my boost account number? And like, I straight out to tell them, like, don't lose your cool for one, because that agent will just get scared and hang up. It happens. Like, I've seen it firsthand. So when people suspect they hung up, they're actually right. They did. But just stand your ground on it. I know it's tough. That's really bad policy for Sprint. But they're gonna do that until they get kicked in the nuts, basically.
Yeah, because actually, I had Sprint back. I had actual Sprint service. I would say about 5 years ago. I want to, because that's when I had the Evo 4G and all those, and I was getting very poor service. But I like Sprint. I mean, the billing was good. Everything was good. And they actually, I was going to pour it out, and they says, well, we got the Air Rave. They said it won't help out with your data, but it'll give you full service. And so they sent me an Air Ray for free, hooked it up, and I had, I mean, at my house, I went from 0 to 1 bars to 5 bars of service and had no problems. But it's like now they want you to stay even with bad service, but they don't want to offer you anything.
So let me touch on something similar to that. Okay. As all of y'all know, all of y'all have worked in postpaid, and postpaid bill can be kind of complicated. So the FCC fined Verizon and AT&T a couple of pretty large fines. I can't think of the amount at the moment off top, but some sort of inflated billing practice. So I actually emailed them, the FCC, a couple of months ago because there was an issue with my AT&T bill that they would not fix. And since they got so many fines, they are answering every single complaint. I know that there's an option to pay to have an FCC complaint pushed forward, but when it comes to like cell phones, they are not playing.
I tell you something else the FCC is not playing about anymore is robo-calls. That has been big in the news lately. They are demanding all the major carriers, especially Sprint, because I guess a lot of them are coming from Sprint or something, issue some sort of software or whatever. They don't care how it's done as long as it gets done, where it's either preventing the robocalls from ever being made, or to give people the option, some sort of like a selective call acceptance or whatever. I forget what they're calling it. But it's basically where you can set your phone up to automatically reject all robocalls unless it's from a live, active, paid for number. It'll automatically kick it out because they're coming down on WhatsApp. They're coming down on text now because a lot of them are coming from them, and they're demanding by the 2019 that something be done about it because there's just so many and they're getting completely out of hand. I guess congressmen are getting calls or the FCC is getting calls during dinner. I got a robocall during Thanksgiving dinner.
So one thing that I've noticed based on that, especially, people switch phones and phone numbers all the time now. People are not attached to phone numbers anymore. I got a new line for my iPhone 6S on AT&T Prepaid, and I've had about 15 calls and text messages from either people like the recycling. Back then, when you recycled a phone number, they would keep it like off the market for about 2 or 3 months, just so collection calls would stop. So the number was like a brand new number again. That's not working anymore.
I've got to take a time out. I've got to plug this thing in. I was on about 59%, and I'm sitting way down, like at maybe 12% now. So I've got to shuffle some stuff around. I'm going to mute this.
But yeah, my main personal number I've had for 10 or 11 years. It actually originated from Sprint, and that number has been ported out at least 15 times, to be honest with you, different carriers. But I've had that number for 10 or 11 years, and so I basically, don't ever get any unless it's like a wrong number or somebody hit a wrong digit, like if they get a wrong number or whatever. But yeah, that's the one good thing about having a phone number for that long, because on my Better SIM number, I get calls quite often from this or that. I'm like, and so yeah, I know what you mean.
Guys, I want to touch on MetroPCS. I hit it on a video a couple times, but
You're cutting out bad, dude. Can't hear you, man.
Did I break the stream coming in?
Nah.
So basically our subject tonight, before we veered off a little bit, was we're always talking about Cricket, Metro, and Boost, and then like how we never bring up Straight Talk. Now, you being on our stream, Tito, reminds me of something. How long do you think it'll take before Project Fi gets to that level of the Big Four? Or do you think it's there already? Because I honestly don't know a lot about Project Fi.
Project Fi really is at its edge of getting to that, because they're already the name Project is already about to get dropped. They're actually going to convert the name straight out as Google Fi. So I'm thinking that, because Google holds more of a name that everyone recognizes than Project. Once it starts going, because you can see it on Facebook, Twitter, like all their ads, it's at that point. As soon as people see Google Fi, they're already going to take interest, especially since they know what Google is. That's just going to boost it more. Because I think I know this for covering Project Fi for a long time. They were holding back because one of their deals with T-Mobile, Sprint, was that they weren't trying to compete, even though they were utilizing their networks. And then when they struck a deal with US Cellular, now they basically have 3. And their deal was never to compete, but that's starting. I mean, that's probably like an idiotic move for them to say that, because eventually they're going to compete. That's it's what it is. But yeah, I think we're on the dawn of it, where Google Fi is going to be mentioned a lot.
What do you think is stopping a carrier from being like fully Wi-Fi? But I mean a good Wi-Fi. You know what I mean?
Like, you mean totally dependent on Wi-Fi?
Yeah, but actually good, because there's a lot of Wi-Fi and texting services, but they're all garbage, even if you have a great connection.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for them to pull that off,
Especially
really,
with Wi-Fi everywhere. I mean, like one that even if they have a really weak Wi-Fi signal, you'll still have a decent call, a decent chance of sending text messages. Because if something like that was to come out, and I think Visible might be the closest thing to that, they're going to spell a lot of trouble for the carriers.
well, I know that Google was doing something like that here in Phoenix because they're trying to convert all our like those what do you call them again? See, I haven't used these things in a long time. Those paid phones, the pay phones, they're trying
Yeah.
to convert those into Wi-Fi routers to make use out of
Oh,
them. Instead of like breaking them down and throwing them out, they're like, we'll just convert it into Wi-Fi router because it has a hard line that it can send internet signal to, and then a radio to disperse that signal. So you're looking like downtown Phoenix, you're looking like at every block having like 2 or 3 of them on the corner. If you are dependent on on a company that's fully Wi-Fi more than cellular data, like you have a best shot of always staying connected.
think they'll still charge a quarter for a few
That
minutes
would
of
be funny.
Wi-Fi? I would.
That would be
I'm
funny.
sorry. I would. Sorry, CB, for cutting you, bro. What were you trying to say?
I was just yawning.
Oh,
But yeah, Tito, I seen your notification that you about your newest video. I haven't watched it yet because I've been running around like crazy about going to Project Fi and everything. What's really so what's really good about them? I mean, is it their process? Is it their phones? Is it their ease of use?
it's in the shoebox.
Phones, I really wouldn't say because I mean, like if you know Project Fi, they only have specific phones that can actually work on their network, and that's their biggest downfall. The reason I'm jumping to them is because I've made plans to do a lot of traveling in 2019, and so like if I go to Japan, I really don't have to like acquire cellular service in Japan because Project Fi works out there, and I think Android Authority did a video showing people that you can literally connect to data and you won't like say like if the country has like a firewall and they don't permit certain things to be done on their internet, Project Fi actually routes around that firewall. So anything that's blocked in Japan but it's not blocked in the US, I'd still be able to access while I'm on vacation out there. So it's mostly just because I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling.
Hey, guys, can you guys hear me? Good?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay. So MetroPCS, they have the $15 fee, and I've discussed this. People are defending this swapping phone fee. Like every time you swap your SIM card in and out of a phone, you got to pay $15. That's one them to basically one phone so you don't keep switching phones and churning or doing whatever the case may be. What do you think other carriers are going to do this? And do you think other carriers are going to follow suit?
Oh yeah.
And Metro by T-Mobile, they just did this whole name switch thing, and then all of a sudden, this thing came about. So, do you think other carriers are going to do the same thing? Or are they going to like look at this and be like, "Oh, look at that, $15 every time prepaid people switch their phones"? That's like a big money grab. So, what do you
I'm
think?
pretty
about
sure
that,
Cricket will do that. And they'll probably charge $10. Do you remember? I've said this countless times. Sprint and T-Mobile invent almost everything, and AT&T and Verizon copy it.
Yeah, I can see Boost starting to do that.
Because Sprint, you remember Sprint? There, it was either Sprint or T-Mobile. I know T-Mobile. They started installment billing, and now everybody does installment billing. Virgin Mobile started with content on their phones, video. Now everybody does that. That's what I mean by that. That they start everything. So I'm pretty sure that the other carriers are going to start following suit.
So I mean, it's basically going to be like contract, but I mean, is that what prepaid's going to start going to? It's going to feel like contract.
It could. One thing that I think could happen, because there's reports that come out, and Tito, you're aware of this, and John, you are too. So you and Lady Red, you may have been told by your the franchising. Most prepaid carriers do not make money off a sale, other than the activation fee, but until their third month.
96 days.
Yep. As soon as that customer pays their third month at any store, it doesn't matter what part of the country they're in, the store that they originated the sale gets that bill payment. And that's why you're always hearing your bosses say, hey, make sure you give them a good experience because we want them to stay. Because if they switch, a week later and, we're all guilty of this, it actually hurts them because the money goes to the carrier, but they get, pretty much nothing, especially if they're waiving activation fees.
What they want us to do for retention is stuff like the add-ons. We get nothing. Boss said something to me the other day because I'm not pushing Deezer because nobody's offering Deezer. Nobody wants it. I'm tired of offering Deezer. And I got Pandora like they're holding a diamond ring or something. And I'm just like, it's a music app, whatever. And people will pay $10 or $15 for Pandora, but they will not pay $6 for Deezer through Cricket. I don't get that. And they get a little touchy about, their music app too. It's just like ridiculous. But they want us to put everybody on autopay. That's like the big thing. Autopay. It's like, oh God, enough. Because they say it helps retention. And they want everybody to get Cricket Protect because they say that helps retention. I don't know. Those are like two big commission points for me too, is autopay and Cricket Protect. And they want, like, I'm not allowed to offer or I'm not even allowed to say NetBuddy in the store anymore because he said it was hurting our hotspot activations. The people that were wanting it are the ones that already have hotspot or are looking for a home internet service more than 10 gigs because they're, one girl come in, she was using the illegal hotspot from Straight Talk and she showed me her data usage. I couldn't believe it was like 200 gigs,
Yep, they'll let it go for a little while. Look, and honestly, when I was working at Cricket, I offered everyone Deezer. I mean, Pandora is garbage.
I know, and that's what I don't get. I tried Pandora and I didn't like it at all. And everybody comes in, they've either got Spotify or Pandora, and they get just really territorial if you even suggest they use something else. It just blows my mind.
No, and then I had the Deezer free trial and I loved it. But then when I paid to have my second month, it completely erased all of my playlists.
Oh, I see. It didn't do that with me.
Yeah,
it didn't do that with me.
Right now, I just do that's why I port to to Boost like once a year so I can get those 6 months of free Tidal. I love Tidal Music is my favorite of all of them.
I like the Deezer. I tried the Spotify and it was okay. I did not like Pandora at all. I've tried YouTube Music and I was having an issue with my phone then, but it got way too expensive. And the $6 for Deezer is fine with me because I listen to like really weird music when I sleep. It's like specifically like meditational music, sleep music and stuff. And Deezer has that. I was very shocked. And I like a lot of, it's called now, it's a whole thing, Viking metal. Some people might call it Norwegian death metal, and Deezer's got that too. That's got like Ward Runner and High Lung and all the bands I like. So I'm pretty happy with it. But I mean, people get very bent out of shape over their music app.
Like, oh no, I have this music carrier. That's fine. So one thing, especially to the tech YouTubers that are going to be swapping phones a lot, as far as Metro goes, with unlocked devices, just do Simple Mobile.
Yeah, I'm fixing to put Metro on blast.
Oh man, I can't wait to see that too.
Give us a little preview, RJ.
Metro got on my bad side, and that's not a good thing to be. That's not a good place to be.
Bro, don't give out too much, bro. This is pay-per-view quality.
Just give us a little taste.
But one thing I'll tell you though, real quick before CV goes in, I still have great service with Simple Mobile versus Metro. I don't know why when they use the same powers. And also, Simple Mobile is like the only carrier that does not throttle at all.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rant out on this live stream about it. I want to make my own video about it. So,
Tito, what music service do you use, sir? We're not hearing from you too often.
Oh well, kind of bland, but I use Google Play Music.
Okay.
Huh?
Honestly, I don't use any music app, none. Period. Because I don't listen to music, none. I mean, Out of a 24-hour day,
Same here.
I listen to zero music. Unless I'm in the car driving, and I'm like, there's times, and I know people can't stand this, but I'll have my car stereo on scan. If there's people in my car with me riding around, which is very, 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 very never happens, I'll have my car stereo on. I have it on scan. It'll scan through all the channels like over and over and over again. People can't stand that.
There's no good music. There's no good radio stations here. Like whenever I lived down south, TK 101 in Pensacola and Mobile, that was my station. They played the best music. It was all metal all the time. And up here, it's like country or oldies and top 40. And I am not a pop fan at all. Like I don't even know who half of them are. Somebody says a name to me, I'm like, who? No, I haven't heard of them. And I like, because I'll get the Bluetooth adapter in my car because I have like an ancient car, and that's how I'll pull up my music and play it in the car. And now I've killed my fuses, and so I can't even do that. I don't even turn on my radio. I'm like listening to the non-existent exhaust. So.
I haven't heard radio in forever.
Well, I know when I got my car back in March, they gave me, I think it was 3 or 4 months of XM or satellite radio. So I listened to a lot of satellite radio. Well, then they cut it off, but now it's back on. I don't know what they messed up. If they did, I'm glad because I don't know if it's for the holidays, they cut it back on, but I know that they gave me 3 months, so it should have been off in like June, but it worked all the way through summer. And then a month ago, they cut my satellite radio off in my car. And then the other night, I cut it back on. And I'm like, what the crap? It's working again. So I haven't paid nothing, haven't called them, haven't talked. Because usually they'll send you out, we'll give you this deal, that deal. But I haven't paid nothing. And so far right now, it's back on. So maybe they made a mistake. And if they leave it on for good, that's good with me.
Man, I don't even listen to radio anymore. Or even
I
talk
get
radio.
nervous.
I used to be big into talk radio, and now I just listen to podcasts.
Man, I get nervous when I get in somebody's like an Uber's car or whatever, and they're listening to like political news station. I don't say nothing, bro, because I don't want to trigger them. And say, they might be. I don't know who they are, what they are, or whatever, and they'd be like talking. You know what I'm saying? It's like left wing, right wing, whatever thing. Oh my god, dude. That shit's scary, dude. I just be acting like I'm in a call.
Those conversations always get heated. My bad, Tito. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I took an Uber once, and the guy was actually listening to a podcast from podcaster X22 Report. And while he was listening to it, he at a red light, he stops. He looks over at me in the back. I'm like on my phone texting. He's like, "So what do you think about this?" I was like, he literally put me on blast at that point. I was like, oh man, this is where I'm either gonna get out the car. Something.
No, look, this is another reason, and I'm not trying to get political for too long, but that's another reason I don't talk politics at work, because there's people that you don't want to debate me in politics because I have done my research. But there's people that you cannot reason with them, even if you have evidence of what you're talking about in front of you. They just don't want to accept it. So it's like, why is it even worth talking about?
Yeah, yeah. And because my boss is, he's born an American citizen. He is, by whatever, I don't know, ethnicity. He's Jordanian, he's Palestinian, Jordanian, whatever. And he is like the nicest guy ever. He's the best boss I've ever had. And I love him. He's also my neighbor, he's great. And people will come in, he'll be in the back, and it'll just be me or Jesse or both of us out front. And they're just out of the blue, they start talking trash about, because he's Muslim, and they'll start talking trash about the Muslims and how they're blowing everybody up, and the end of the world is everything bad in the world is because of them, and then, they'll just keep on. And we're just like, not saying much of anything, we're just trying to get them out of the store basically. And, then it'll hit that point and one of us will get triggered, and that's, he listens, he can hear us, and when he hears that is when he usually comes out front. And that's when I'll come out, and both of us will do the same thing every time. Well, our boss is Muslim, and he is the nicest, the kindest, most respectful person either of us have ever met. And I'm sorry that you feel that way, but not everyone fits into that category. And that's usually about the time he'll just quietly walk out and stand in the doorway and just kind of lean up against it. And he's very nice looking. And the women that are in there, oh my God, I told him, I asked him once, I said, do you really want to know what my friends say about you? And he's like, no, because he's very shy. And, they'll stop. Every time it's like when they see him, they come face to face with him, they just stop with whatever hate is coming out of their mouth. They just stop.
They should continue speaking how they speak and then wait for a response. See, my approach is different. I'll pull up a source. I'll pull up a fact, an article that's been verified, and then they'll turn Scooby-Doo like, after talking all their crap. And that's how it is,
Yeah. And they start talking Trump and politics and Congress, and I'll throw it out there. I'm sorry, politics is against my religion.
Yeah, I don't.
It stops.
I don't discuss politics much either because, like I said, usually it ends up in a fight or somebody or whatever. I'm just like, it ain't even worth it because
it's to the point where you can't even be bipartisan anymore, which I'm the most bipartisan person there is. Stevie, you and me have talked politics, bro. How often do you hear me say during the conversation, I'm not left, I'm not right, I'm dead in the center?
Yeah.
And you can't even be that anymore.
No,
so
you
I
can't.
want to touch base on something real quick. Just what someone commented about Google Play Music, just to kind of give a heads up on that. Because I know before when you had like the family plan on Google Play Music, you got YouTube Red with it. Now, if you're grandfathered into that and you don't, like say you miss a bill payment or you're late and you have to restart your service, the way it works now is that it doesn't come with YouTube Red anymore. So it only comes with Google Play Music and YouTube Music because YouTube Red is gone. It's now YouTube Premium.
Oh, and speaking of YouTube Premium, you know how they're like, it's what, $13 now a month? How much is it?
I don't know. I think it was higher than that. Last I checked, I was offered it for $17.99. That was the last offer I got.
Oh my goodness! Well, like my brother had.
Red, hold up, huh? What? YouTube Red is
YouTube Premium, $17.99. That's what I was offered.
Yeah, it's $12 a month. But it used to be $9.99. My brother has had YouTube Red Premium, whatever you want to call it, since they first were incepted, and I told him, don't ever cancel that. Don't miss a payment because your bill's gonna go up. And I remember it was more expensive on the iPhone. So what I would do is I would sign up for YouTube Red on an Android device and then sign into my iPhone so I'd keep that price low.
Oh yeah.
See, whenever I had the YouTube Music, it was I did the free trial, then it was $9.99, and they were gonna jack it up, and it was like 1 month when I was gonna be like 2 days late on the payment. And to get it restarted, it was going to jack it up to $12. And I was trying it was YouTube Red at that point. And I just couldn't find enough stuff to watch to justify spending $12 a month just for music. And that's where I went ahead and canceled, let it be canceled, took my card off of it and everything. Cause I had it, for autopay and all that. And switched over to the Deezer. But the only way to get it for $6 Deezer, and we have to tell people this because I tried to do it. You can't activate it on your own. Even though it's pre-downloaded in all the Cricket phones, you have to do it in the store or you don't get the $6 a month.
That little link, that DZR link?
Yeah. Whenever I go in to RQ in the active, whenever I'm, building the account and stuff, and it's in the same screen, like I'll do their, I put their account number in, they go down and pick out their plan. And then down there under that, it's got Cricket Protect, Mobile Hotspot, Deezer Music, International Calling, and all of those, the add-ons that are listed. And that's where I go in to add it in, or they can come in the store and I can add it in that way and it'll send the link, and that's where you activate it and we'll set it up in the store. But without doing that, you have to pay the full amount, and it's a completely separate account. Because I went through that again whenever I got the Xpure, because I put it on the Xpure and I've got it on both phones now, my Xpure and my Supra. And I had to, kind of go into my account and change it there too. So I had to go into my Deezer account and change it and get a code and do all kinds of stuff.
Mm. Yeah, I never messed with any of those streaming music type apps. I just never really dealt with them.
Like I said, I can't sleep. I've slept with my music on like that so long, for probably 2 years now. I cannot sleep without it. I've tried. And if there's a commercial that comes on, I wake up. If it stops playing, I wake up. And it's just, I don't know. I have to have it. I've developed the habit. I'm not changing it. I sleep great. So.
Mm.
Oh, so I'm gonna make an ASMR 10-hour video, guys, of me crunching on chips for you.
I'm gonna
That's a lot
respond
of chips.
to Neno. What happened to Samsung Milk Music? There's too many music streaming services, just like there's too many Netflix wannabes.
Yeah.
You can sleep to Little John and the screeching.
What'd you say there, Meal Hustles?
There's too many music streaming services, just like too many Netflix wannabes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not slowing down.
Milk Music was going down. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's been a while. I haven't heard Samsung Milk Music in a long time.
I had Move Music with Cricket. They were pretty cool.
Yeah, I had them. I had that whenever I had Cricket along. I had a really cool phone with Cricket before they was bought out by AT&T. I still got it somewhere. I'm not sure where it's at, but it was a pretty cool phone. Had all that Move Music and all that stuff on it and everything. Oh yeah.
I'm sharing the one because I've got some in YouTube that I like to listen to, and I've got some on Deezer that I like to listen to. I'm sharing the one from YouTube that I like. And this is like a 9-hour track. I mean, it's made for sleep, and I feel so good when I wake up. Like when I listen to certain ones, I'll sleep differently. Like if I've got a headache, I'll sleep and listen to one for pain control. And if I'm restless or whatever, I'll listen to a different one. It's different ones, but it's like I sleep so good.
My essential phone right now is tripping out. My essential phone, the screen is so cold in the car that my screen is so cold that it won't register my touch.
All right.
All right, guys, we're probably gonna go ahead and end it off right here. We've been on for about an hour and a half. I think that's good enough. So y'all give your outros and where they can find you and what up next, anything like that you want to say, and then we'll go ahead and go.
Well, you can of course find me at TV Tech. My pictures, my profile picture is there. If you want to subscribe, you can.
I'm getting my link for my channel right now. I am Lady Red. This is the link to my channel. If you haven't already subscribed to me, thank you to those who have. I love you so much. And if you haven't subscribed to me, go ahead and follow that link and subscribe to me too. I've got news, product reviews, not just phones, other stuff too. And I've been doing a lot of device comparisons lately. And I got tutorials. If you can't figure out what to do with your phone, I've probably got a tutorial for you. So go ahead and head over there and subscribe to me too.
Yeah, I don't have my link, so I can't put in my link because
Do you want me to find yours? I'll get yours.
I need to have my link set, but I just don't set my link because
I'm getting it now.
I forget.
Yeah, I'm getting yours right now.
Or you can just do it like this right here. I mean, this is of course this is my PayPal link, but you can push my little bubble right there in the corner and go to my channel and subscribe there as well.
All right, that is CV Tech's link to his channel.
Thank you, Lady Red. Appreciate that.
My link still looks weird. I've got my link changed, but it still has that weird one in here. I've got my it's Lady Red youtube.com/c/Lady Red's Tech Reviews, but this one is still that weird code.
Go ahead, Tito.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm just some guy that popped up on here, so.
Nah, bro, come on, bro. Road to 10K, man. You're almost there, bro.
You ain't
All right,
far.
let me find him. I can't. He's not in the chat.
Yeah,
Let me see.
Yeah, I'm just me. So, but I do want to give a shout out to John for inviting me in and letting me hang out with everybody. 'Cause these are good times. So, hopefully next time we'll have more on the panel. Because I'm trying to get everybody back together to do like one major broadcast together, like Tech Right and Paul Tech to include it. Crossing my fingers for that. That would be cool. Yeah, I mean, feel free to subscribe if you guys want or not. Just
All right.
stop by, say hi sometime. I appreciate
There's
you
your
guys.
link right there. Mill Hustles, you want me to get yours?
T-Series.
Hey, what happened?
Do you want me to drop yours while I'm dropping links?
Oh no, I'm just gonna put it. Just youtube.com/millhustles. You know, hit me up if y'all are looking for good tech deals and tech news here and there. That's pretty much it.
Alrighty, and yeah, if you don't know Beeline now and you're watching this, then I don't know. You got issues.
How did you
I
get here?
Tito, I already dropped yours.
You must be drunk or something.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
Tito, any last words, man? Great to have you on here, dude.
You know, I'm sorry that I'm not very active. I really wish I was, you know, but I am getting more active now, like I said. So yeah, when you do another one, man, like I said, just hit me up before you do it, and I'll join you.
How's it been, bro, dealing with that thing that you're dealing with? I'm getting up there in age, dude. So
it sucks, man. Well, I'm getting better right now. Like, so a lot of feeling has come back to the right side of my face, and like the muscles in like my cheek are starting to move, and I'm able to blink more. But like when it was like full blown happening, dude, I sound like I had a golf ball in my mouth. I could barely talk. I mean, I went on camera a couple of times on my channel, and you could literally see it. Like the left eye would blink, and I'm sure people were like, "This dude's psycho," because the other eye's not moving. Like,
bro, did you just wake up like that, or what happened? Like,
it was gradual. So like, I didn't notice it until it fully started to happen. But like, I could tell something was up because like my right eye wasn't blinking as often, and it was drying out. So I was putting a lot of eye drops in, and then like every time I would say like the letters B or like V or something, like my lip would curl to the left. I'm like, what the heck?
I'm over here blinking to make sure both my eyes are blinking and shit.
Yeah. So it's crazy, dude. I wouldn't want anyone to experience that because I literally thought I was having a stroke at first. That's what scared me.
Yeah. That's why I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
My cousin had Bell's palsy, but in his case, he was blind for a few days.
See, I had a friend that had it. She was the manager. She was the manager. I was the assistant manager, and she had it, and she said she felt drunk. Like she was always dizzy. She didn't want to. She couldn't. She stayed in bed because she said every time she got up to walk around, she would just get real dizzy and kind of get kind of sick to her stomach from it. And she couldn't talk or anything. And it took her a pretty good while to get over it, a couple weeks.
Yeah, I was told it could last for up to like 6 months, dude. I was scared.
Oh wow.
And it sucks, like, especially if you do videos and, but like, like we do, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah. That's why I was on and off. Like some videos I would do, some videos would just be like through speaker because I'm like, I don't feel like being on camera. But then like just trying to be on the positive side, my daughter could have been Batman for Halloween, and I could have been Harvey Two-Face, dude. But it didn't happen around Halloween. It happened after. That defeated the purpose.
Are you going to work, bro, or did they give you some time off?
No, I'm still with them. So I go in. It's just weird when customers talk and everything like that. They have to try and understand me, so I try to slow down when I speak.
Yeah. Well, I know you're probably making, light of it, or you probably, making the most out of it. So it don't matter. right?
Yeah. Gotta stay positive.
Well, you sound really good. So,
Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm taking the medication. It's like some sort of steroid
mhm.
that's helping out. And like I said, like movement is starting to come back. So I'm like pretty excited.
Did you
Yeah.
say steroids? Because you're gonna turn into the macho man just like I am.
Yeah, I was scared, dude. I thought I was gonna have lung rage and stuff like that. I think the only side effect I felt was like at 4 o'clock in the morning. It feels like my blood boils.
Oh God, I felt that before.
Because I mean, sitting here talking to you right now, I mean, to me, you sound, you know, I can't even tell it right now.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
it's
I felt.
All right.
awkward silence.
Oh, sorry.
We're out. We're out.
All right, guys. Well,
Shout out to Neno for the $5 super chat.
hey.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
About to say, if you got $100 just burning a hole in your pocket, if you want to drop that, man, we could be up here for a few more minutes. You know what I'm saying? Don't be shy, guys. Reach deep down inside. No, let me stop. Oh man. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. All right, and we are.